Hey guys, so next up is Seer. Kinda hero from the back, kinda forgotten hero, right? Not a lot of people play him, not a lot of people ban him. Still a great hero to play, still a really nice set of utility, right? He just kinda with a bunch of those that are kind of forgotten, right? Not used that much. But let's see the build. I try to make the build almost every item kind of synergized with my inbuilt spells and some other stuff, right? Like hex for later game. So starting with boots, the only boots I really get is phase boots. Phase boots because of surge. Surge gives you like a nice speed boost. You run faster. The best way to combo that is with free pathing that phase boots gives you free phasing, right? So when you cast this, this is a limited time, right? So you get the most value by just casting it and running the line, like straight line towards your target. You need to be close to the target because of Iron Shell. And phase boot just gives you the unobstructed movement, right? So you can quickly get there, not having to run around any obstacles, your allies, enemies, enemy that can really block you, right? So that's why phase boots. Also extra armor is nice. Even though you're playing support, you still have to be there in fight. Most of the time you won't be able to cast this on the somebody from your team. You might have to cast it on yourself and just use surge on yourself, and you know it kind of gives you better survivability with the extra addition of buffed movement, right? So only boots I get, you can get arcane boots also if you want, tranquil boots, you know, you can choose, but I really like phase boots. Second item that is just get immediate or like first big item is just Scepter. Scepter gives you another charge on the shell, and it also gives you extra 300 health. So it's like a great effect. Let's say there's an offlaner and they carry right close to before the fight starts. You give one iron shell to the offlaner if he's gonna jump in, especially with the blink. You know what offlaner that doesn't like extra 300 health for free? It gives him a lot more, you know, survivability. He can tank more. Cast the second one, for example, on your carry. Carry also likes the free health. You know, he can last longer, do more DPS, and they both get like a really buffed radiance effect. Radiance is like 60 damage per second. This is 90. Duration is pretty high, it's 30 seconds. With this is 45. You also get 15 seconds longer. So just a really nice way of combining the item with your spell, right? Stats are also really nice as well. Attributes, health, mana, you need all of these. So for me, just a great item to get. Don't have to rush anything like you know, like 4-step for this immediately if you don't want. You have a lot of inbuilt stuff that's already great, so you know you're kind of equipped. You can take it slower and just farm this. Second one, there's always good old Glimmer Cape. Now Glimmer Cape also goes great with Surge. Somebody's running away, let's say you're kind of close, you can buff him with Surge. You can also cast Glimmer Capes. You give him movement speed, you give him like a windwalk effect, you know, like something like Shadow Blade. If they had it. So I mean, they don't get the Shadow Blade's movement speed, right? But they get like amazing other effect, which is 50% magic resistance. So you kind of giving them this and the movement speed, even if they kind of interrupt them and stop them and, you know, reveal them with dust or wards. If they want to nuke them with spells, they're still gonna block half of it while under effect of this. So you know, kind of goes great with this. You can also cast Surge on yourself and cast this and kind of infiltrate enemy lines. Once you pop out of invisibility, you can just place your ult. Ult is pretty much just like an illusion wall. Anybody that crosses creates illusions. Illusions attack him, of course. You can also control illusions from your enemies. So, you know, a bunch of fun stuff you can do, and it kind of synergizes. So this goes great with the Iron Shell. This goes great with the Surge and like in general. So already two really nice items, right? Shiva is also always an option. Shiva because again, you'll have to be there in the fights. You have to cast this and this. Seer just kind of has to be close in the fight, if not in the heart of the fight. You know, just casting this on yourself and running around dealing damage. Radiance, like a radiance effect. So extra armor is always nice. Freezing blast for 200 damage is also great. Slows movement speed, slows attack speed, you know, by default, by being just around anybody. You can see how big the range is. Regeneration life steal, you know, so if somebody wants to attack you, they're not gonna have a fun time, and you'll still be doing AoE damage with Iron Shell. You know, and Vacuum is also kind of made to synergize with this. Vacuum just kind of puts everybody that's on any side of this circle where the X is. So if there's like 5 heroes all around this circle, below circle, they'll be pulled where the X is. That's pretty much Vacuum. So you can already start hitting them with Iron Shell, you blast them with this. You know, it kind of goes. Again, just one item that kind of synergizes with Iron Shell, but with other stuff, right? Now, something big that can really be annoying. It costs a lot of money though, but it's really fun to make is Refresher Orb. So if you refresh, you can recast, of course, all of your spells, but it's all about the ult, pretty much. Just imagine being able to create a bunch of these, right? Whatever the direction is, they pass through one of these, they create like illusions, they pass through the second one, create even more illusions. You can kind of trap them in a big AoE. If they kind of try to evade this, you always have a vacuum, so you can kind of just, you know, target it here, they get pulled all of them to that spot. Illusions are made, you know, they're slowed, it also slows them. So Shiva, another slow blast effect AoE, this is AoE, you know, it's a really nice effect if you have it, you know. And you can also do like it twice of the vacuum if you do a refresher. So that's kind of one of the bigger items. It costs a lot, but Seer has no problem farming if farming themselves, right? If there's a wave for you, a couple of waves, they're either busy or dead, whatever the case is, you can just cast Iron Shell, gather them all around with Vacuum if you want. It's also damage with like the gathering skill, so you know, you can quickly farm that. You can farm jungle if there's room for you. So it's not a big deal like some of the heroes who are really single attack, no AoE spells. You know, the best case would probably be somebody like Ancient Apparition, but that hero is kind of equipped with the whole other set of skills. But just to put example for farming possibility, right? There's of course Aeon Disc, as always, extra health, extra mana, lets you just last longer in fights. You can run longer. You know, you can just kind of afford to stay and keep buffing your teammates. If you get hit, let's say for some reason they kind of jump you, or you're kind of in the open in front of your team for some reason, or you kind of got lost, this can give you like a second life. You can kind of run back with Surge, and you know, when your team comes in, you can keep buffing them and still being alive. So Aeon Disc is also great if there's anybody, you know, like Legion Commander, like Faceless Void. They can't really just, you know, jump on you and kill you that easily, especially Legion. He's gonna get stuck in the you know, the debuff for him or buff for yourself, however you wanna say it. If somebody like Faceless Void wants to kill you, he's gonna have to waste 2.5 seconds in his Chronosphere if he really wants to kill you, you know. So you kind of really make it hard for enemy heroes to just one-shot you in like an easy way, and works especially great against those heroes, right? Because the item kind of gives you strong dispel, removes any debuffs, and then you kind of just spam Surge on yourself and just run away. You know, it's really easy to get away. Cover yourself with Glimmer Cape, blast with Shiva, whatever you have is just gonna go great with Surge. And some other items, there's always Lotus Orb. You know, you can keep Iron Shell on any, let's say, maybe it's an let's just take offlaner. Offlaner is best for buffing with this, because, you know, if it's a real tanky offlaner, let's say Bristleback would be perfect. You just kind of buff him with Iron Shell, you buff him with Lotus, you give him the Surge, you just kind of send them in. Like Bristleback would just destroy people with these buffs. There's just like one great example. It's already really hard to deal with him. His passive always procs on damage. It's really annoying. It's AoE, it slows everywhere, especially if he has Scepter himself. And you know, it's like a Radiance effect on top of Quills. Anybody tries to hex him or nuke him, they're gonna get it all back. It's just a great way to kind of just, you know, buff somebody and just send them in. You know, that's Seer's the best for. If not, you can always send yourself in. You know, if you made something like this, you have armor, you have stats, no problem just sending yourself in, giving yourself iron shell, load the sword, and just jumping in the fight, right? If you die, your support, it's not a big deal. Supports die all the time anyways. You kind of expected to feed anyways. You know, that's the life of the support, so it's completely fine. And there's also Hex. Always, you know, always an item to keep in mind. The only problem with Hex that I always have is just that the items that the Hex is made out of. Ultimate Orb is great. You know, gives you extra health. Mystic Staff, not so much. At you know, at that point, whenever you're making Hex, it's always kind of later in the game. Mystic Staff, Void Stone, two other parts, not so useful for you. Ultimate Orb is great, but the end effect is great. You get a big 3.5 Hex. You know, it's everything. It disables them. You can do, you know, just trap them. You can hit them longer with Iron Shell, blast them with Shiva, keep hitting them, create a wall. They'll have to pass through the wall. They're disabled. It's just like a really nice end game item that kind of goes great with the Seer. I really don't see what I would fit here. Maybe you can fit something like Kaya and Sage. You know, Sage effect is great. Again, you'll be there. You'll have to survive in the fight. You know, Kaya with the whole continuous spell damage from Iron Shell gets double with Scepter. You know, so there's more value there, but it's a choice however you want to play it. This is much more benefit immediately. This kind you have to wait. You get some benefit from Ultimate Orb, but the rest of the parts is kind of a lot of money. You have to wait for the end effect. This kind of more faster immediate effect. You know, if the game kind of dictates that you kind of need impact items and you need them now, might just get this, and you know, kind of you can kind of be almost as like a backup offlaner. I've seen cases where people play Darkseer as an offlaner, getting something like this plus the heart. He can kind of fill in the backup role, something like Ogre Magi. You know, he can kind of fill that role in, take away some damage from the offlaner if it's needed. And yeah, that would be it. Also get the Shard. Shard is just another spell. It deals stun, it deals damage, creates illusion out of the hero that you attack. The only thing is, you know, that goes up with the distance that you travel before you attack that target. But it kind of makes sense that you always have some distance, especially with Surge. You'd always make the distance and kind of get the max effect out of this. It's pretty easy, right? Even if somebody is close, you can just cast Surge, make a couple of circles and then hit them. If there's time, you know, there's just ways for Darkseer to always get the value out of this. And it's a nice another spell. It's also stun. Even if it's like a immediately cast next to you, you should look at it like a interrupt spell, right? If there's anybody channeling spell, you know, somebody like Witch Doctor, Crystal Maiden, you just having this, even if it's like 0.1 seconds, it's still an interrupt. You can still interrupt their channeling spell. So there's immediate value, especially against those heroes there anyways, right? So that's kind of the items that I like playing with. You know, it's a lot of money. My build would something look like this. I would just get phase boots. You know, there's also option to go Guardian Greaves. I don't really go Guardian Greaves because I don't really do mechanism. Not really a fan of mechanism on this guy and the whole thing. I kind of go a bit different way, you know. But yeah, that would be the build. Let's take a look at the talent tree. I mean, it's completely fine if you wanna go that way. Mechanism is always great, you know. Who does like extra health? I mean, mechanism combined with scepter. Iron Shell gives 300 free damage, right? Mechanism also heals AoE. it makes sense. It makes sense after all. You know, I wasn't thinking too much about it, but it makes sense, especially with the scepter. So yeah, also keep in mind the whole mechanism and the Guardian Greaves thing. You know, but for that you would need the arcane boots. So there's that. Talent tree. I just take wall of replica illusion damage. You can take armor if you want. It's not that much. It might help because it's early. But again, that will kind of depend on whether the enemy team is more towards spell damage or physical damage. If they're kind of more on the spell side, even if their mid is kind of spells, their support are more spellcasters. It's kind of not that much of a value. Second, I just like as close as you can get it to the radiance. It's just Iron Shell, but this is not a huge you know, deal. I just like the left one. Third one, I just take Iron Shell damage. You know, we have the scepter. It's plus 100 because you cast it twice. You know, really nice buff. Why not just get it to like, it's gonna be 140. I think that's even more than Pudge with Scepter. Pudge with Aghanim Scepter is like 120, I think, or something. So this even beats Pudge's Wrath, and you get 2 charges of it, right? And the last one, I just take Parallel Wall. So Parallel Wall gives another wall immediately after the first one, you know. The whole refresher orb thing, you create 4 of them now, right? But that is if the game goes that long, so you reach level 25. It can't take time to get there. Might be over long before you hit 25. But yeah, just another great, you know, you can find even more synergy for refresher. Just create 4 walls, and you know, there's vacuum, like I said. Create 4 walls, you can just kind of make him pass through at least 2 of them. You can at least make him pass through 2 walls. It can be used defensively, offensively. It's just you know, it's just great way of doing it. So yeah, that would be Darkseer. Instead waste any more time. A lot of choices. I did like overlook a bit of a mechanism, because I was thinking like mechanism on its own is not that great, but kind of forgot about the scepter effect that it also buffs health. So synergy there as well. If you just want to go mechanism, you can be much more you know, team oriented in that sense. But yeah, like, just say it with other support. If other support, maybe other support wants to make mechanism or kind of synergizes better with this instead of mechanism, you kind of see what, you just take a look what other support is doing it. If you really need the heals, or you can focus more on some utility, you know, some other stuff. So yeah, that's Darkseer, and I'll be seeing you guys on the next one.